Hello, everyone. Totally T-Mac, Tony McEwing here with news you can use. A lot of people have successfully shed unwanted and unhealthy extra pounds by using intermittent fasting. In fact, I confess I did it myself for several months some years ago with a moderate degree of success. But now, an alarming new study presented by the American Heart Association, no less, links intermittent fasting to a 91% higher risk of cardiovascular death. Let me say that again. According to this study, those who engage in this very popular diet can have a 91% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. Now, to say this is shocking would be an understatement. And not all experts, by the way, are on board with the study's conclusions, but I'll have more on that in a moment. Intermittent fasting has been all the rage for a lot of people for years now. In fact, there are several different ways you can practice this lifestyle. Limiting eating to 8 hours a day or even less is a very common choice when it comes to this type of fasting. That's where you implement what's called a 16-8 eating schedule. You eat for 8 hours a day and you fast for the other 16 hours. Now, the study was presented at the American Heart Association conference recently. It analyzed data from more than 20,000 adults and found that people who limited their eating to less than 8 hours a day were much more likely to die from cardiovascular disease when compared to people who had a more typical eating pattern across 12 to 16 hours a day. For people who already have cardiovascular issues, eating less than 10 hours a day was also linked to a 66% higher risk of death from heart disease or stroke. Now, up until this new study, the messaging we've been getting about intermittent fasting, even from many health experts, is that for most adults, it's actually good for your health. In fact, one of the reasons such fasting has been so popular is because other research has found that it can improve blood pressure as well as blood sugar and cholesterol levels and has been very effective in helping people lose weight, which is why even the scientists who conducted this new study, they say they were flabbergasted by the findings. So what gives? I mean, how can a diet like intermittent fasting provide the kinds of benefits I just mentioned while at the same time be so dangerous to your health? Well, there are a few theories on what could be behind the study's dire conclusions. If you're practicing intermittent fasting, what you eat during the 8 hours or so can make a huge difference to your health. If you're eating unhealthy foods, you may be headed for disaster. And other factors may play a part, like your age and lifestyle habits, like whether or not you exercise regularly along with your fasting. In other words, if you're fasting but otherwise living an unhealthy lifestyle, that fasting may actually end up being more stressful to your body than beneficial. That all being said, some experts are not convinced the study's results should be the last word on the subject. In fact, some say this new research actually raises even more questions and that more studies definitely need to be done. So, what do you think? Are you now thoroughly confused about intermittent fasting? Have you even ever tried it before? Feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. Also, like and share the channel and the videos with others. And as always, have an absolutely fantastic day. And I'll see you on the next Totally T-Mac with more news you can use.